All right, let's dive into something pretty interesting. Carrie Underwood returning to American Idol. But here's the twist. She's not a contestant this time. She's going to be a judge. We've got some stuff from a Fox News article that really gets into this whole full circle thing. And it's pretty fascinating, to be honest.
No.
It really makes you think, American Idol's been around forever. But like Underwood coming back really makes you think about the show's impact, right? And like its legacy on music.
Yeah, it really is fascinating how American Idol has really just become this bleeding ground for talent. It launches careers and really shapes popular music. And I think Underwood's whole journey, right, from contestant to country music superstar and now a judge, it really says a lot about the music industry and how it's cyclical, it's this mentorship pipeline where these successful artists come back and help the next generation.
It's kind of like a rite of passage. You pay your dues, you climb the ladder, and then you reach back to help others up. And it's not just symbolic. Her announcement on Instagram really drove that point home visually. She posted a then and now photo comparison, right? One from way back when she was a contestant and another one now all confident as a judge.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's super powerful, that visual storytelling. It really resonates with her fans, who've seen her career, and it just reinforces this whole idea of evolution and growth. It's not just her going back to the same spot. She's bringing 2 decades of experience with her and wisdom and all these skills.
Totally. Okay, now the article mentions that Underwood's replacing Katy Perry on the judging panel, and this gets you thinking. What does this mean for the show? This could be more mentorship focused now.
It's a really interesting thought. Underwood's time as a contestant gives her this really unique understanding of what these singers are going through, all the pressures, all the vulnerability. She's been there, dealing with the ups and downs of the competition.
And she's had to deal with that on a massive scale. Remember when she sang America the Beautiful at President Trump's inauguration? There were all these technical issues, but she was so cool under pressure. She just told the production team, I could just sing it. And then she just belted it out a cappella perfectly.
Oh, totally. Talk about grace under fire. That moment showed everyone not just her talent, but her professionalism and her adaptability. Live performances can be unpredictable, especially on a stage that big. But, she just rolls with it, turns the potential disaster into this awesome moment.
It really makes you think about what separates good singers from actual performers, the ability to handle the pressure, to connect with an audience when things go wrong. Those are such valuable lessons that she can pass on to these contestants.
For sure. And it all goes back to what we were saying about American Idol, not just being about finding the best voice, it's about finding a star, someone with that it factor that goes beyond technical skill.
Right, exactly. So what do you think about Underwood's judging style? Do you think it'll work? The article quotes her saying, I do have a big problem, I can't lie. She admits she's very honest, but she also talks about being constructive and encouraging. Do you think she might be too harsh for some contestants?
Yeah.
Especially the ones who are new to all of this.
It's a tricky balance, right? Honesty is important for growth, but it has to be done in a way that empowers, not discourages. It'll be interesting to see how she manages that. It's worth pointing out too that judging styles in popular music, on American Idol, are so different from, say, opera or classical music. The feedback is just different.
Oh, for sure. Totally different worlds.
Yeah.
In a show like Idol, it's not just the voice. It's about stage presence, charisma, connecting with the audience. And Underwood gets that. She's lived it. So I'm sure she'll bring that to the judging panel.
Absolutely. And that's where her experience as both a contestant and a multi-Grammy winner really matters. She can give advice on song choices, stage presence, even how to handle the emotions of the competition. Plus, she can share her own story, her struggles, her successes, remind them that she was once in their shoes, full of dreams, facing the unknown.
It's almost like she's a bridge between these new artists and the big names in the industry, right? She's been on both sides. She knows what it takes. She's living proof that hard work, talent, and maybe a little luck can take you from nowhere to the top of the charts. But it wasn't all easy for her, right?
Oh, of course not.
It wasn't just a straight shot to success.
Right, and that's another important lesson she can teach. The road to success is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks, rejections, self-doubt. But how you deal with those challenges, that's what defines you as an artist.
Totally. Okay, so let's talk a little more about her judging style.
So, Underwood's judging style, it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting, especially with this whole can't lie thing, you know? It makes you wonder, like, where's the line? How much honesty is too much in music?
Right. Like, telling someone they're off key, that's one thing. But when it comes to, like, style, stage presence, even what song they chose, it gets kind of subjective. Do you think she'll be able to, like, separate her own taste from what might actually work for the artist?
It's a tough one. It's a challenge with judging any art, really. Like, there's always that risk of just pushing your own preferences, especially when you've had success. But I actually think her being so aware of her honesty could help.
Really? I'd think it'd make her more likely to just blurt things out. Helpful or not.
Maybe, but it also might make her think more about how she says things. Like, knowing she's blunt might make her choose her words carefully, so it's honest, but also, you know, constructive.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like she's softening the blow a bit by saying, hey, I'm straight up.
Right, exactly. And it sets up this interesting thing for the contestants. They know she won't sugarcoat it, but they also know she's been there, done that, wants to help them improve.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes down in the auditions. We're so used to those mean judges, right? But she seems different.
Yeah, and that's where I think the encouragement part comes in. She's not there just to pick them apart. She wants to see their potential, help them grow. And who better than someone who went through the idol pressure cooker herself?
Right. It's like built-in empathy. She knows those anxieties, those insecurities, because she felt them too. And she's not just relating to them on that level. She's bringing all this real-world experience.
Totally. She's not just talented, she's a smart businesswoman. She built a career in a tough industry. She knows marketing, connecting with audiences, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. That's gold for a new artist.
And it's more than just tips and tricks. Just her being there could be huge for them. Imagine how much confidence they'll get knowing that someone who stood on that same stage, facing those same judges, made it big.
Yeah, it really shows that the American Idol dream is real. That anyone, no matter where they're from, can make it. With talent, hard work, and a little luck. Underwood proves it's not just some fantasy, it can happen.
She's like the embodiment of that, you know, a symbol of what's possible when you go for it. That's inspiring, not just for them, but for anyone who feels like their dreams are too big.
It makes you wonder how this will change the show overall. American Idol has gone through so many changes, right? Different judges, different networks, even the format's changed. Could this be a shift to like a more supportive mentoring kind of vibe?
That's an interesting thought. It'd be pretty different from all that drama and cutthroat stuff that's popular now, right?
Yeah.
But maybe that's what it needs, a back-to-basics approach. Focus on the music, the talent.
And she's a perfect person to lead that. She embodies both, right? The talent and the journey.
You're so right. It's almost poetic. She started out wide-eyed, hopeful, got nurtured by the show, and now she's back to do the same for others.
It really shows how American Idol has staying power. It's more than a singing contest. It's part of our culture. It's changed music. It's entertained us for years. And her being back reminds us of that impact on the artists, on the viewers, everyone.
It's like she's connecting the past and the future of the show, bringing all those lessons she's learned.
Yeah. And in doing that, she might just breathe new life into American Idol. Remind us why we loved it in the first place. The talent, the stories, that belief that dreams can come true, even the big, crazy ones.
Okay, so we've talked about her journey, how she might judge, how she might change things. But one thing we haven't really gotten into is like what this means for her personally. Remember, the article quotes her saying, "It feels like home." Let's explore that a bit more in part 3 of our deep dive. Welcome back. So we've been talking about Carrie Underwood's return to American Idol, not just what it means for the show, but for her too. Remember that quote, "It feels like home." What do you think she meant by that?
It's gotta be personal, right? I mean, think about it. American Idol launched her whole career, took her from like small town girl to superstar. Saying it feels like home means it's more than just a job. It's like emotionally connected to who she is.
Yeah, it's more than just missing the old days, right?
Yeah.
It's like she's recognizing how much the show changed her life, shaped her as an artist, even as a person.
Exactly. And it shows something we don't always think about with these shows, you know? The contestants go through so much. Challenges, growth, the bonds they form. That stuff sticks with them.
And with Underwood, it all comes back around. She went from being mentored to being the mentor, from getting advice to giving it. Kind of beautiful how it all came together.
It is, and it adds this whole other layer to her as a judge. She's not just judging, she's sharing her story, her struggles, her wins. It connects with the contestants on a different level.
Like she's saying, hey, I get it. I was there,
Mm.
and I'm here to help you through it. That's powerful,
Well,
especially for young artists starting out. It's a scary world.
it's more than advice. It's like building a community. That shared understanding can make them grow, feel confident, and Underwood's the perfect person for that. She's walked that path.
It makes you wonder how that'll play out with the other judges. Will she be the nice one? The voice of reason? The one who gets what it's like to be in the spotlight, judged by everyone?
Could be. And it might clash with the other judges, They'll have their own ways of doing things. It could be good TV, but also maybe it'll make things better for the contestants, more support, more well-rounded feedback.
That's what matters, right? Not just finding the next big star, but helping them grow, encouraging them, reminding everyone that music changes lives. And Underwood, with her story, her empathy, her talent, she seems ready to do that.
So, wrapping up, I'm feeling optimistic. Like, her coming back to Idol isn't just a full circle for her. It could change the show for the better. What do you think?
I think you nailed it. It's a story about change, about giving back, about how powerful music is. It'll be really interesting to see how she affects things, not just for the singers, but for American Idol itself.
Thanks for joining us. We'll definitely be watching how this all plays out. Until next time, keep on exploring.